So I'm at a point right now where I actually let go of a lot. I have this big step to take, just to move. And for that, there's a lot of letting go. There's a lot of uncoupling, detaching. And it feels abrupt, it's triggering my inner child. And it makes me reflect a lot. And so I reflect a lot. And looking back, there's this one pattern that I always see, and I've never seen it so clearly as I do now. So what happens is, if you have a hero's journey, it's like you have a calling for some adventure, for some challenge, for something to experience, for a journey. And then you either take the call or you ignore it. Now, throughout my life, I've had multiple times where I felt a call to do a lot of things, to travel, to do certain practice, to join a certain kind of group or a certain kind of training. And oftentimes, what would happen is I would feel the call, I would feel the urge, and then I would put it off. I would tell myself, I need to get more financial stability first. I need to get more money first. Or I would tell myself, I need to level up my speaking skills. I need to level up my emotional stability. I need to level up my ability to improvise. I need to become better at whatever, so that then I feel confident enough that I can do it. And so I would have this thing, this call that's calling me, that's very active in my life, but in my mind, I would be putting it off. And I'm like, that's a small thing, I can do that later. And so these little things, these little calls, they pop up, calling me, inviting me to explore, to surrender, to immerse myself. And then time would pass by, and I would come to this point where all of a sudden this big thing, this big adventure, this big invitation call for travel or for immersion comes up, and I get so freaking scared because I realize all these small things that I've been ignoring all these months, they were like preparatory exercises, preparations. If I had only given myself to them, if I had only been open to them. But no, I was looking forward to the big thing. I was looking forward to this thing, this big thing, that's what I want, and ignoring the small things in life, not valuing them. And so what would happen is I would then feel I'm not good enough or I'm not ready enough for this big call. And I would then just not go. I would ignore it. And what I would feel back then is I would feel this deep, deep disappointment in myself because I didn't give myself the chance to experience my full potential. I didn't give myself a chance to expand, to grow, to try, to live, to have fun, to enjoy, to discover, to play. And I would punish myself. I would isolate myself, and I would give myself a strict regimen on how I need to fix this, how I need to prepare myself so that next time I feel ready and I can just go on and do it. And then I would have that period where I would feel sadness, where I would feel alone, where I would feel like I'm not good enough, and I would just try to work on myself. And then some time would pass by, and all of a sudden I felt ready enough, it would come up, and then I would do it. And this pattern that I just said, this repeated, it's like a thing, it's like a cycle that comes up. And looking back on it, I realized, like, Igor, if you only surrender to the little things in life, if you only let go, and just whatever comes in your life, give yourself to it. Give yourself to whatever small thing comes into your life. Trust life, trust the flow of life. Because then you go through these things, you immerse yourself in these processes, you experience new dimensions of experience, and you're engaged, and then the big thing comes, and all of a sudden you just go for it. You don't think about it, you don't hesitate, you don't doubt, you're just gonna make the best of it and explore. But do I do that? No. I wish I could. I really wish I could, and I wish that it happened, but no, it's still the same. There's this idea of what I want to be, what I should do, and that is what happens. I expect this big idea, I ignore the things in my life, and then when the big thing comes, I just disappoint. I disappoint myself and I punish myself. And then I discipline myself to be better, and then it's just a pattern. And it's so funny looking at that. It's like life is saying to me, hey, do this, hey, do that, do this, do that, do this, and hey, here, now you're ready for this big experience, this big adventure, do this. And I'm like, no. I want more money, I want more stability, I want to do this first, I want to do that first, no. And then the big thing, like, oh shit, I really want the big thing, but I'm not ready for it. And so what happens then? Life is like, okay, do it your way. If you don't want to do it my way, do it your way. And I mean, life is not literally telling me that, but I just see it. I see myself going through that pattern. Like, I just need to let go. I just need to stop avoiding anything. Stop avoiding anything at all and just immerse myself into it. Give myself to it. So that I'm just immersed in life. I'm living, not waiting for something. So that I already let go. And I feel the same thing coming up right now. There's this big trip coming up. And looking back on my year, I've had so many opportunities for trainings, for expansions, for things that I needed to learn. And some things I did, and some things I didn't do. So I did okay. I didn't ignore everything, but some things I missed out. But now there's this feeling of like, oh shit, if I had done that training and that training and that training, I would feel so ready for this trip right now, because I would feel just so in sync. But now I feel I still have unfinished business. I still want to finish that training and that training, because I need those skills, I need those experiences, I need the integration of those experiences. So now again, there's this thing like, am I really again gonna disappoint myself and not do the thing that I really want to do, not give myself to it because I missed out on a couple of things? I have two choices. Either I let go, or I try to fix it. I try to make myself feel prepared enough, right? Or I can just let go. Honestly, I don't know how to let go, but I know I can pray for it. I know I can pray to God, to drop in my heart and to say, dear God, please help me to surrender to this situation. Please, I ask for your will. I ask for your guidance. And yeah, and just let things unfold. Because I know I cannot really make a right or a wrong decision, because whatever happens, whether I commit to a journey or whether I don't commit, I feel for myself that either way I'm gonna get an experience where I grow. Because honestly, looking back on those times where I was isolated, when I wasn't involved in life, those were sometimes some of the most deep, nurturing experiences I had, because it's like you're going into this hot tub with yourself. You're immersing yourself in yourself, and you're going through the layers of disappointment, and you're going through the layers of desire, of anger, of your capability, of sadness. And you're feeling all that, and you're learning to relate to all that, and you're learning to take one step at a time. You learn to have compassion with yourself. You learn to give yourself time and space and patience. You learn discipline. You learn, like, okay, what do you need? How can I take care of myself from a place of love? How can I take care for myself from a place, from my heart? Instead of being go, 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 go. So for me, even those experiences, sure, there was disappointment because I missed out on life experiences, but I still got a very deep experience because it took me into myself. It took me to places that I needed to face, because I realized these things, these layers, these blocks, these fears, they prevent me from living. They prevent me from expressing myself fully. They prevent me from touching life, from feeling life, from expressing life, from being alive, feeling alive. So there is a deep desire to let it go, to untangle that, to heal that, to become aware of that. But yeah, it's so funny. Like right now, I see it. This February, so when I started CAP, Kundalini Activation Process, a training came up. I did one training. Another training come up. I did another training. Another training come up. So it was like a coaching training, a Reiki training, workshops, like facilitating for groups, learning to be a facilitator for shadow work, for consciousness work in groups. That I did. But then there was 2 trainings that I didn't do. And I see back now, looking back, it's only because my mind put in the limitation that I couldn't do them, that I didn't do them. I remember having this talk with this guy. I wanted to do this training for pranic living, where you reprogram all of your cells. It's so hot. Where you reprogram all of your cells to live off prana. And I remember so vividly, he said to me, you already decided you want to go. Why don't you just go? Just go. Just go now. Why put it off and go later? Go now. And I wanted to believe him, but there was this feeling, this thought of like, I don't feel safe enough. I don't want to invest this money right now. I want more money so that I can invest from a safer space. Like all these kind of unconscious rationalizations. And now I see, I was just supposed to go. I was just supposed to be there. And then there was another training in Portugal, supposed to be there, but again, the same rationalization. And now my trip to Bali is coming up, and I feel like I need to finish those trainings first. I'm not ready to go to Bali. So I have this thing of like, I need to finish that first, and then go to there. And there's this thing like, why didn't I give myself to it? Because I always know, like I learned this some years ago, there's a difference between what you want and what you need to do. If you ask yourself, what do I want? Your wants can change depending on your mood, depending on your experience, depending on your impressions, depending on your depending on all kinds of variables that are interchanging every day, depending on who's around you, how much money you have, all those things, right? But then there's what is needed. In every situation, every challenge, it's like, I remember I used to do this. I just ask myself, what is needed here? What is required of me? Not what do I want, but what is needed here? And then I would do it. I would feel into it and I would do it and I would do it and I would do it. And doing that, I noticed life was just happening. It was just happening. It was just happening. Just happening. And things would get done and things would develop, transform. Things would be faced. Things would be lived through. But when I have a want, when I have something that I want to get out, or that I want to do, then there's a kind of balance that I'm trying to keep. I want this, but I need this. There's like a negotiating with myself, not allowing myself to surrender, not allowing myself to just go all in. So now I see this pattern repeating again. I see myself. I see myself so clearly. And I wonder, when am I going to stop doing this? When am I going to stop ignoring the little things, the little challenges? When am I going to just let it go? Because I need to let go. Let go and immerse myself in whatever comes up. The smallest things. And accept them. Not push them away. Because then I'm just in this flow constantly. I'm in tune with life. I'm in sync with life. And then whenever the big things come, it's just from the small things, you go to the bigger, to the bigger, to the bigger, and you just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, and you keep on going. So for me, this is like a big lesson. And I really I don't want to say break through this, but I want to understand this. I want to be aware of this, how this works. And I want to heal this. Because if you've gone through this a couple of times, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to see how you disappoint yourself, how you don't give yourself the chance to try and live. Because you expect perfection of yourself, because you expect a certain standard of yourself. I was listening to a talk by Ramdas today, and he talked about, when you go out in nature and you see trees, just look at them. You see a big tree, a small tree, a tree that's really has grown into very complex patterns and is very developed. Some are less developed. Some have some kind of structures and branches. Others have different kinds. The colors are different. Everything's different. But you don't judge. You just look and you see, that one, he maybe had more sun. He had less sun. That one was more in a wet environment. This one was not. This one was getting more wind. This one wasn't. You just understand and you see. But when we look at people and we see people, we have this thing of saying, why is he like that? He should be like this. He should be like that. He should look like this. He should be doing this. He shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't look like that. There's this thing wanting to change. So if we're looking at trees in nature, we're just observing, we're seeing, we're present with whatever is. And there's just an embrace, an intimacy. But the moment in our lives, we meet people, our gaze instantly, it narrows down, it analyzes, it pinpoints, and it picks up on the things that are not good enough, that are not less than perfect, that need change. And it's like you feel the closing down, you feel how it limits your ability to just be, and meet the innocence of what is, the innocence of the being. Because in your mind, you're already condemned, you should be different. That should be different. That shouldn't be like that. So there's no chance of meeting because there's a judgment. Now I'm adding my own thoughts here, but like, why can't we look at people like trees with that acceptance, to just accept they are who they are, and they don't need to be any different than they are. So for me, seeing this pattern now, like seeing, okay, I missed all these things, and now I don't feel ready for this big trip. So am I gonna go on the trip? Or am I gonna do the trainings? Because I know if I don't go on the trip, I will feel so disappointed. I will feel like I've denied myself a chance for life. And I will feel sad. If I go on the trip, I will have to face the feeling or the fear, which is temporary, that I'm not ready, that there's a bit like confidence lacking, that maybe there, and this thought in the back of my mind that maybe somewhere something that I should have done I didn't do. But it doesn't really matter. What's meant to happen will happen. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay even because I see even if things keep circling back because I've avoided them, they keep circling back, and at a certain point in time, whenever I feel ready, I will do them. I will do them, and then they'll be done anyway. It's just a lesson for me too. To be intimate with life, to not miss life, to not close myself to the intimacy of the small things. To be alive with all things, with all events, with all, and to honor what life is calling forth in me, to honor what my life wants to express, and to give in to that without judgment. It's a big lesson for me. I am 30 years old, and 2nd of September this year, I'm gonna be 31. I feel like I'm 16 or 17, honestly, because I feel like I haven't taken the big steps that I wanted to take. I've always stayed in my comfort zone. I always stayed in my safety space. Because that's how I learned to to explore, to adventure. I remember this story when I was little. It was my birthday. My grandmother, she had given me some money to go and play on the arcade. So me and my friend took the bus to the city. I was living outside of the city, and in the city we played the whole day and the whole until midnight. It's just paying more and more to play PlayStation, to play games, Evil Knievel, those kind of thing, and NASCAR, and just playing games. And I'd used some part of my money, but it was birthday money. I enjoyed myself. And then me and my friend, we walked back home. To walk a long way back. It's like a highway that we had to pass through. It wasn't that far, but it was a couple of kilometers. 3, 4, maybe 5, I don't know. It's a vague memory, but I remember the taxis passing, and this taxi, I went up to him and I said, so I was the small boy, and I said, hey, can you give us a ride? And I wanted to offer him money, but he thought that I was asking for a free ride. So he's like, go, keep on going, kids. Like, he thought that I was asking for a free ride. So I was like, he doesn't want to give us a ride. So we kept on walking. And I don't remember if you were hitchhiking or not, but all of a sudden this car stopped, this taxi, and there were people in it. I remember it so vividly. There was a guy in it and 2 women, and they were dressed to go to a club, to a party, like outgoing. And I was telling them, like, I have money. Can you give us a ride? I have money. I can pay you. And the taxi driver was like, you had money. Why didn't you say so? It's like, I don't know, but I wanted to pay you. I had money. So we went into the car, and they were like, come on, we'll take you guys home. So I sit on the lap of this girl, this woman, and I smell her perfume. I see the glitters on her dress. I feel this ambience of mystery, of this aliveness, this rhythm, this tempo, this energy of like people that are alive, people that are like in motion, and they are very engaged in whatever they're doing. And I was sitting on her lap, and I was listening to them, and I thought, like, in my head, I was like, oh my God, I want to go with these people. I wonder where they're going. I wish I could go with them. I want to see the world. I want to explore. And I remember getting out of the car. They gave us a ride, and it was free. It was like, it's okay. I thought, wow, I actually really wish that I could explore that I get to experience or explore that in my life. And I talked about this with my friend today. 3 years ago, no, what was it, 2017 or 18. Me and my friend, we went to Beria. It was a surf camp in Spain. And I had trained, I had prepared myself. I was looking like really like athletic, and I had sunglasses, and I was like so, in top shape. I was confident. I was meditating. I was keeping a journal. So we went on this. We had to travel by bus with a whole group of youngsters, and so we traveled there, and immediately I understood, like when I was there, I took my shirt off, and people were like, whoa, they were like impressed. And I understood people had like a certain kind of projection on me. People thought that I was this cool guy, or this beautiful, mysterious guy, or that I was this guy who had certain qualities, a player or whatever. But in reality, I was so freaking shy. I was like, I looked the part, but I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know how to engage, how to be funny, how to authentically tap into my emotion and to connect with another human being and to allow awkward moments to be, because there was an anxiety to not be awkward, to fill up awkward moments. There was an anxiety to impress people, to want people to be impressed by me, to be seen by people in a certain way. And I remember so vividly, we went to this party and everybody was dancing, and one of the people who was like looking after the group, like what do you call it, somebody who's working there for that program, and they were like just looking that nobody's like too drunk or everything's okay. She noticed me and she started like, let me search you. She was searching me, and I felt like there were like these moments to connect, to immerse, to do things, to make things happen, to go into the unknown. But I ran away. Every time that it happened, I ran away because I felt like I didn't know how do I act, what do I say, how do I connect. I didn't know that. And we went back to the camp, and we're in the parking lot. I remember there was this one guy. He was like, have you seen this guy, his abs? And this girl was like, I remember her name even, Laura. She's like, oh really, do you have abs? And there was like this massive group standing around us, like 30-40 people, and everybody was just standing there waiting. And everybody was like looking, and they saw that there was something happening. And the guy was like, yeah, he really has abs. He has abs. And I looked at her, and she's like, can I feel? And she started to feel my abs. She put her hand here, and she was like touching it. And then I just played along, but I was like so nervous. What do I do? So I was like, do you want me to take my shirt off? Like, yeah. So everybody was just staring at this group, and I take my shirt off, and everybody goes like, whoa, everybody's like making sounds and shouting, and she blushes, and I blush, and I smile, and I act confidently. And then I'm like, do you want to hug me? And she's like, yeah. So she hugs me, and it was a nice hug. And then the guy, he was like, dude, you're the leader now. Like, just lead the group. And I was like, what? And then I noticed everybody was just following me, because all of a sudden there was like this energetic coming together of like attention where I was, and I could like lead the group. So wherever I was going, everybody was going. And I was like, this is what it feels like. But I felt so strange at that moment because I wasn't myself. It's truly not myself. There was another moment where this happened. I'm sorry that it's so long, but I remember I was in a film set in Brussels, and we were filming this movie, and we were playing French students, and we were all wearing uniform, and everybody was young, and we were talking, and we were having a laugh in between. And I remember so vividly, there was one moment where I really thought like nobody noticed me. I was just like playing cool, playing low. But then this one girl, she told me, you know that every girl here finds you attractive, right? Like, really? Like, yeah. Everybody's like, whoa, look, ego's there. Whoa, like, you know that, right? And I was like, what? What? And it's just these moments that make me realize I don't embody myself authentically. I can play the part, I can look the part, but I don't embody who I am. And these last years, it's through processes, through these unexpected moments where I just surrender to something that calls me, something that life offers me, like, do this, try this, that I notice by going through a process of learning something, of trying something out, of sincerely giving myself to something, that I find my authentic expression, that I find my own voice, because I'm allowing myself to learn. I'm allowing myself to unlearn, to let go of what was, and allow myself to discover what is here. What can I do now? What can I express? What can I say? What can I voice? And I'm so grateful because little by little, in all these dimensions in my life, I'm becoming more embodied. I'm becoming more real, truthful, sincere, engaged, and connected. But still, this thing lingers. This thing lingers, and it's kind of frustrating. And looking back, you know, when you miss things out, when you miss out on things, and you realize, if only I had allowed myself to be fully immersed in that process, there's a kind of guilt, there's a kind of regret, there's a kind of sadness that lingers, because you understand that because of a judgment, because of fear, because of not loving myself enough, I didn't allow myself to be, to try, to express, to relax. It was like constantly needing to keep myself fixed, keeping myself tense. It's a big lesson for me. Like right now, I know I still have 2 trainings to do, but I'm just learning not to ignore the small things. The small things become the big things. And it's all connected. I'm done. I didn't plan to say all of this, but I'm glad I did, because now I feel like I saw something. Like, speaking these things out, I see what I didn't see before from a different perspective. When I talk, I don't talk to anybody in particular. It's almost like I'm talking to myself. It's almost like I'm looking at myself and speaking to myself, or like a past self, my past or my future self, or my higher self, or my whatever. But it's, yeah. It helps me relate, helps me put things into perspective. Doing this, honestly, it's fun. Yeah. Thank you for watching.